Have you ever noticed this strange thing about money? Some people work 40 years, wake up early, stay up late, do everything right, and still end up stressed about the next bill. While others seem to move differently, they don't just work for money, money works for them, even when they sleep. Most of us were taught the same script: study hard, get a good job, earn a steady paycheck, be grateful. But no one explained a dangerous truth. A paycheck can feed you, but it cannot free you. You cannot buy freedom with income alone. You build freedom with assets. The rich understand this. They see every dollar as a seed. Average people spend every seed to feel better today. Rich people plant enough seeds to be freer tomorrow. They don't ask, "How much did I earn this month?" They ask, "How much did I build this month?" In this message, I want to show you a different way to think about your money, your work, and your future. Not from luck, not from gambling, but from 10 money rules the rich live by, rules that turn a simple paycheck into assets, rules that quietly build cash flow while the world is sleeping, rules that protect what you earn from taxes, debt, and emotional spending, rules that help you stop living from bill to bill and start building real wealth. If you stay with me until the end, 2 of these rules may completely change how you see money. One rule will show you why most people work hard their whole life and still lose half of what they earn without noticing. Another rule will show you why the rich are not afraid of debt and taxes. They use them as tools. My friend, this is not just about getting rich. It is about becoming free, free from panic every time a bill arrives, free from the fear of losing one job or one client, free to choose work because it matters to you, not because you are desperate. As you listen, I want you to do one thing. Don't just ask, "Do I know this?" Ask, "Do I live this?" Because money does not respond to what we know. It responds to what we practice. Let's begin. Rule 1, stop working just for money. Start building assets. For many years, I believed the purpose of work was simple: make as much money as possible. So I worked harder than everyone around me. Earlier mornings, later nights, extra hours, extra effort. And every time my income went up, I felt like I was winning, until I realized something uncomfortable. I wasn't moving forward. I was running in circles. I earned more, but I spent more. I felt productive, but I wasn't building anything that could set me free. I was living to survive, not to become independent. Then a mentor once looked me straight in the eyes and said, "Income feeds you. Assets free you." That sentence hit me like a storm. I finally understood the problem wasn't how much I earned. The problem was what I was building with the money I earned. Most people spend their entire lives working for money. The rich spend their lives teaching money to work for them. That is the only difference, but it's the line between survival and freedom. Think of it like this. Imagine you're a farmer. At the end of every month, you receive a bag of seeds. Those seeds represent your paycheck. Now you have 2 choices. Eat all the seeds because they're enough to survive today. Plant a portion of those seeds so they grow into something much bigger tomorrow. Most people eat all their seeds. They justify it. "I don't earn enough yet. I'll start saving when I make more. I deserve to reward myself first." They treat every seed as temporary comfort rather than future freedom. So year after year, they stay dependent on the next paycheck. Anything goes wrong: a medical bill, a job loss, a crisis, and their life collapses because nothing has been planted, the rich think differently. They eat enough to live today, but they always plant the rest. They know something simple but powerful. If you eat all your seeds this season, you will have nothing to harvest next season. Assets are those seeds you plant. They are money machines disguised as investments. They grow quietly. They work silently. They pay you even when you are not working. They turn effort today into freedom tomorrow. A high income does not make you rich. Ownership does. I once met a man who looked wealthy from the outside: luxury clothes, expensive car, high salary. But when I asked him one question, he went quiet. If you stopped working today, how long could you live? He looked rich, but he wasn't free. He was rich in income, but poor in assets. On the other hand, I met a teacher who earned far less money, but she consistently invested a portion of every paycheck into assets, dividends, stocks, a small rental room, and a tiny online business. Over time, her assets started paying her. Eventually, she could live without her salary. She wasn't rich on paper, but she was free. And here is the truth. Most people refuse to accept freedom is not built from income. Freedom is built from ownership. You don't need a higher salary to start building assets. You need a new philosophy. Every dollar you earn must have a job. It must either feed you today or help free you tomorrow. Before you spend, ask yourself one question. Is this seed going to die in my mouth, or will it grow into something that pays me? Because if you don't make money your servant, it will force you to serve it for the rest of your life. And that is why the rich follow one simple habit. No matter their income, they never skip planting seeds. And that brings us to the next rule. Rule 2, pay yourself first. Build the habit of planting seeds daily. Most people believe wealth begins when they finally earn more money. They say things like, when I get a better job, I'll start saving. When I make more money, then I'll invest. When things get easier, I'll build a plan, but that day never comes. Why? Because wealth doesn't start with money. Wealth starts with habit. You don't become wealthy when you earn more. You become wealthy when you learn to keep a portion of what you earn, no matter how small it is. I once told a student, don't wait to have more money to build discipline. You build discipline first, and money will follow. He laughed and said, but saving $5 or $10 doesn't matter. 3 years later, I met him again. His income was higher, yet he still hadn't saved anything. He said the same thing, I'm not ready yet. And I smiled gently, because the lesson was clear. It's not about how much you have, it's about who you become with what you have. If you never learn to plant seeds when you have little, you will never plant seeds when you have more. Your circumstances won't change your habits. Your habits will change your circumstances. The rich understand this deeply. They don't wait for millions to start investing. They start with whatever they have and let time and discipline do the heavy lifting. $1 planted with consistency grows more than $100 wasted emotionally. They follow a simple but powerful rule. Pay yourself first. Every single time. Before bills, before entertainment, before lifestyle. Not because they want to restrict themselves, but because they want to protect their future from their impulses. Imagine this, every time you get paid, you immediately set aside a seed. You don't ask how much, you just do it. even 2%. 5%. Or 10% can be life-changing if you do it consistently. You're training your financial muscles. Think about exercise. You don't wait to be fit to start working out. You work out to get fit. Money works the same way. You don't wait for discipline to start saving. You save to build discipline. Consistency is worth more than intensity. It's better to invest $20 consistently than $500 randomly. It's better to build a habit than depend on motivation. And here's the secret. Your bank won't tell you money that is not intentionally assigned will be emotionally spent. If you don't give every dollar a mission, your emotions will give it a distraction. Coffee, here. Subscription, there. A meal, a gadget, a trend, a discount that costs more than it saves. Small leaks, tiny pleasures, invisible losses that quietly steal your freedom. Most people don't go broke because of one large mistake. They go broke because of 1,000 small decisions made without awareness. You must decide every dollar I earn has a job. Some dollars feed me today. Some dollars free me tomorrow. How do you start? Here's a simple process you can begin today. 1, choose a percentage. Start small, 2%. 5%. 5%. The habit matters more than the amount. 2, automate it. Use a separate account or investment app. Don't trust your willpower. Trust the system. 3, label it mentally as freedom, money, not savings, not leftovers. Freedom. When you protect your seeds, you protect your future over time. This habit becomes your financial identity. You stop seeing money emotionally. You stop living for short-term pleasure. You stop hoping and start building, and something special happens. Your relationship with money changes. You no longer chase it desperately. You guide it purposefully. That's when money slowly starts to work for you. So ask yourselves today, am I paying everyone else first and hoping something is left for me? Or am I paying my future first and letting the world take what remains? Because if you don't pay yourself first, you are working for everyone except yourself. And this habit leads directly to the next rule, not just planting seeds daily, but planting them in the right places. Rule 3, design your money bucket safety, growth, and self-investment. Paying yourself first is powerful. But if you don't know where that money should go, you can still end up broke, only slower. Saving without direction is like planting seeds on random soil. Some ground is fertile, some is dry. Some will never produce a harvest, no matter how long you wait. The rich understand something most people never learn. It's not about saving money. It's about allocating money. Average people scatter their money everywhere. They jump into whatever looks popular, a friend's startup, a new coin, a hot stock, a trending business idea. They don't invest. They gamble with excitement instead of education. Then, when the soil they pick doesn't grow, they blame money. Meanwhile, the rich follow a simple philosophy. Don't spread your seeds randomly. Plant them strategically. They divide their money into 3 buckets, each serving a different mission. Not chaos, not emotion, not trends. A system. Let's break it down. Bucket 1, safety, the foundation. This bucket is built to protect your life, not impress anyone. It grows slowly, but it grows steadily, just like roots beneath a strong tree. This includes things like index funds, bonds, blue chip dividend stocks, emergency funds, stable real estate. These assets are not flashy, but they are reliable. They don't make you rich overnight. They make sure you never collapse overnight. The rich know freedom is impossible without stability. A house built on sand will fall, no matter how beautifully it's designed. Bucket 2, growth, the opportunity. This is where high potential lives. Not guaranteed results, but calculated risk. Many people jump into this bucket first, without a foundation, and get destroyed. The rich enter this bucket after building safety. Growth includes startup investing, emerging technology, cryptocurrencies with research, scalable businesses, developing markets. Not every tree will bear fruit, but if even a few blossoms survive, the harvest can be enormous. This bucket accelerates wealth, not protects it. The key is discipline, not excitement. Opportunity without foundation becomes chaos. Opportunity with foundation becomes leverage. Bucket 3, self-investment, the infinite return. This is the bucket most people neglect, yet it produces the highest return of all, because no investment pays more than the one you make in yourself. This includes books that expand your thinking, courses that sharpen your skills, mentorship that shortens your learning curve, health practices that keep your body productive, communication, leadership, problem-solving abilities. Money can be stolen. Assets can crash. Markets can collapse. But no one can take your mindset, skill set, character, or competence. They are assets with infinite ROI. The poor buy entertainment. The middle class buys liabilities. The rich buy growth. The rich treat learning like investing, not spending. The balance principle. The danger is not having one bucket. The danger is depending on only one bucket. If you only build safety, you'll be stable but slow. If you only chase growth, you'll be unstable and stressed. If you ignore self-investment, you will never rise beyond your current level. Money grows the same way a forest grows. Some trees for shade, some trees for fruit, some trees for long-lasting wood. If a storm comes, some trees may fall, but the forest will survive. That is real wealth. So ask yourself today, where are my seeds going? Are they protecting me? Are they multiplying? Are they improving who I am? Your freedom won't come from working harder. It will come from allocating money with intention. And once your buckets are designed, the next step is to make those seeds work without you. Rule 4, build cash-flowing assets before lifestyle. There's a dangerous illusion in today's world. People want to look rich before they ever become free. They chase symbols of wealth: cars, clothes, gadgets, luxury apartments long before they have anything that pays for those things. They upgrade their lifestyle, but they forget to upgrade their income engines. I once met a man who owned luxury everything. His car payments were huge. His apartment rent was premium, and his expenses screamed success. But when I asked him, "How much money do you earn while you sleep?" he stared at me silently. He looked wealthy, but his lifestyle owned him. He was working overtime just to afford the image he created. The rich play a different game. Before they buy luxury, they buy cash flow. Assets first, comfort later. Assets are things that pay you month after month. Rental properties, dividend stocks, automated online businesses, royalties, digital products, scalable services, content that earns while you're offline. These are not glamorous at first. They don't shine like a new car. They don't impress friends immediately, but they create one thing. Luxury never gives you freedom. A car loses value the moment you buy it. A cash-flowing asset grows value the moment you build it. Most people think they need more money to build cash flow. But the truth is the opposite. You don't need more income. You need different priorities. The rich don't ask, "Can I afford this?" They ask, "Will this pay me every month? Or will this drain me every month?" One question builds freedom. The other builds stress. Let's make this simple. If something takes money out of your pocket every month, it's a liability. If something puts money into your pocket every month, it's an asset. And here's the mindset shift that unlocks wealth. Let your assets buy your lifestyle, not your paycheck. Before you buy the car, own something that pays for the car. Before you rent the luxury apartment, own something that funds the rent. Before you travel first class, own something that earns while you're flying. Luxury without cash flow is a prison with velvet walls. Luxury funded by assets is freedom wearing silk. Freedom doesn't come from what you buy. It comes from what pays you. So ask yourself right now, am I building things that pay me, or am I paying for things that trap me? You don't need to stop dreaming of a beautiful lifestyle. Just change the order. First, build income-producing assets. Then let those assets build the lifestyle, because you can rest, but your assets must never sleep. And once your assets begin to work for you, there's a deeper question to answer. How do you increase income without working more hours? That's the secret of the next rule. Rule 5, money follows value. Not hours. Most people try to earn more money by working longer hours. They believe the more time they give, the more life will give back. So they sacrifice evenings, weekends, and energy, yet still feel stuck at the same level. Why? Because this world does not pay for effort. It pays for value. Imagine two people working in the same company. One works 10 hours a day doing basic tasks. The other works 6 hours a day solving high-value problems that save the company money or help the company earn more. Who will be paid more? Not the one who worked harder, but the one who made a bigger impact. Income is not measured by hours. Income is measured by usefulness. This is why two people with the same job title can earn completely different amounts. The difference isn't time, it's value creation. Let me share something. A mentor once told me, "Jim, I don't ask how you can work more hours. Ask how you can become more valuable in fewer hours." That shift changed my life. I stopped chasing overtime, and I started chasing skills, knowledge, and problem-solving ability. Because when you become valuable, money has to follow you. It has no choice. The rich understand this deeply. They don't try to get paid more for their time. They try to get paid more for their value. And value comes from one thing: helping more people and helping them better. The richest people in the world are not the ones who work the hardest physically. They are the ones who create solutions that impact millions. Elon Musk isn't paid for working long hours. He's paid for solving big problems. Jeff Bezos didn't trade time. He built a system that sells value 24/7. Michael Jordan didn't earn from playing harder. His brand earned because he created global value. In today's world, with technology, AI, and the creator economy, your value can scale. Your skills can reach thousands, even millions, without your physical presence. You can design products, content, systems, or knowledge that work for others even when you're not there. So how do you increase your value? Not by working more, but by building skills that multiply impact. Ask yourself, can I help people save money? Can I help people earn more money? Can I solve a painful problem? Can I improve efficiency? Results or experience? Money flows to those who solve meaningful problems. Here's the key. Don't work to be busy. Work to be valuable. You don't need to become a genius. You need to become useful at a higher level. Learn a skill that matters. Practice it. Improve it. Apply it to real needs. And when you do, your income will rise even if you work fewer hours. Because income is a mirror. It reflects the value you create. The rich don't think, how can I make more money, they think. How can I become more valuable? That mindset doesn't just increase income. It attracts opportunities, partners, clients, and leverage. But value alone is not enough. Many valuable people still struggle financially because they lack one crucial skill. They don't control their money. Rule 6. Track every dollar like the rich. People think wealth is built by earning more. But in reality, more people go broke from what they don't control than from what they don't earn. The problem isn't usually income. The problem is awareness. Most people know exactly how much they make, but they have no idea where their money goes. They spend emotionally, forget quickly, and justify instantly. It's just a coffee. It's just a quick lunch. It's only a subscription. It's a discount. I'm saving money. But here is the harsh truth. Small leaks sink large ships, not because one drop is dangerous, but because thousands of drops happen without attention. People don't go broke from buying one big thing. They go broke from 1,000 invisible decisions. I once sat with a young professional who said, I earn well, but I don't understand why I'm always short at the end of the month. So we reviewed his spending line by line. Within 1 hour, he realized something shocking. He wasn't poor. He was unaware. He wasn't losing money from big mistakes. He was losing money from mindless habits. And that's when he understood what the rich have known all along. You cannot grow money you do not control. The rich do something the average person considers too much work. They track every dollar, not because they're stingy, but because they respect their money. They know that money flows to those who lead it, and it abandons those who ignore it. If you don't tell your money where to go, it will leave on its own. The wealthy don't guess. They don't hope. They don't rely on memory. They measure, record, review, and adjust. That awareness becomes a financial superpower the moment you see your waste clearly. You start cutting without pain because you finally realize how much freedom it costs you. Here's an exercise that has changed lives, the 30-day awareness audit. For 1 month, write down everything you spend, every coffee, every snack, every subscription, every impulse click, every small thing. At the end of the month, highlight what brought no value. Identify emotional spending triggers. Redirect even 10% of waste into investments. Just 10% redirected into assets can change your entire future in a few years. Because here's the real secret. Financial freedom begins long before investing. It begins with control. Income without discipline is a trap. Income with control becomes capital. Capital becomes assets. Assets become freedom. So ask yourself, do I control my money? Or does my money control me? Most people work for money. The rich make money, work for them. And that work begins with awareness. Once you learn to control what you earn, you'll have the power to build and protect real wealth. And the rich protect wealth in a way most people never learn. They don't just think month to month. They think beyond their lifetime. Rule 7. Keep what you earn. Use debt and tax like the rich. Most people spend their lives trying to make more money. The rich spend their lives learning how to keep the money they make. Two people can earn the same income. Yet one becomes wealthy while the other stays stressed. The difference isn't talent, luck, or even career. The difference is simple. One understands the rules of money. The other is controlled by them. There are two rules most people fear: misunderstand or ignore debt taxes. And yet, these two forces decide who wins and who struggles financially. Let's start with the first one. The poor use debt to look rich. The rich use debt to become free. Debt is not the enemy. Ignorance is. Bad debt is when you borrow to buy things that take money out of your pocket. New phones, expensive cars, designer brands, upgraded apartments, impulsive désir. Bad debt makes you look rich temporarily, but forces you to work harder permanently. Bad debt buys impressions. Good debt buys income. Good debt is used to build or acquire income-producing assets. Rental property that pays rent every month, a cash-flowing business, tools or systems that generate income, real estate that appreciates and cash flows. The rich borrow only when the debt creates more money than it costs. They don't borrow to look wealthy. They borrow to own what produces wealth. A man who uses debt to buy a luxury car becomes a slave to payments. A man who uses debt to buy a rental property uses the renter's payment to build freedom. One pays interest. The other earns it? No. The second force, taxes. Most people treat taxes like something unavoidable, uncontrollable, and painful, so they never study how taxes work. They simply complain, sign papers, and lose money quietly every year. Meanwhile, the rich see taxes as a system of incentives created to reward certain financial behaviors. Governments encourage real estate investment, business creation, job creation, retirement planning, long-term investment, asset building, and they reward these behaviors with tax advantages. So the rich ask, how can I legally structure my life in the most tax-efficient way? They build assets through businesses where legitimate expenses reduce taxable income, properties where depreciation lowers taxes, retirement accounts where growth is tax-advantaged, investments where long-term gains are taxed less or deferred. The poor get taxed on labor. The rich get rewarded for building value. Employees pay the highest tax. Investors and business owners pay to grow the economy. This isn't cheating. It's playing the game with knowledge instead of emotion. Here's the brutal truth. Most people spend 40 years working for money, yet never spend 40 days learning how money works. They fear debt, so they avoid leverage. They fear taxes, so they overpay them. They fear knowledge, so they never change. Yet freedom belongs to those who learn. Ignorance is the most expensive tax of all. A new way to think: don't ask how much do I make, ask how much do I keep. How much do I grow? And how much works for me? Wealth is not about income. It's about ownership, leverage, and strategy. And once you learn to keep more of what you earn, there is something even more powerful to build. Not wealth for yourself, but wealth that outlives you. Rule 8. Think in generations. Build wealth that outlives you. Most people think about money only within the span of their own lifetime. They ask, how can I live comfortably? But the truly wealthy ask a different question. How will my children and grandchildren live because of what I build today? The great mistake is believing wealth ends with us. In reality, the impact of our financial choices echoes for decades. Some families start every generation from zero. Others start every generation with a foundation. The rich don't work only for income. They work for legacy. A house bought today becomes shelter for descendants tomorrow. A business built today becomes opportunity for generations. An investment account built today can grow long after you're gone, and more powerful than any of these. A financial philosophy passed down to your children becomes a permanent inheritance. I once met an elderly man named William. He lived quietly. Nothing flashy, yet he was completely at peace financially. He told me, "Jim, I didn't work just for myself. I worked so the people I love would never have to start from zero." That sentence revealed something profound. True wealth is not measured by what you consume in your lifetime, but by what you leave behind. But here's the tragedy. Many parents leave money but not principles. And without principles, the money disappears. I've seen families inherit large sums and lose everything within a few years because they never inherited the mindset that created it. Money without mindset is like handing a child a tree without teaching them how to plant seeds. They enjoy the fruit until there is no more fruit left. The rich do not make this mistake. They pass down habits. Pay yourself first. Invest consistently. Philosophy, assets before lifestyle. Skills, financial literacy. Value creation. Responsibility. Ownership. Contribution. Discipline. That is a legacy you cannot lose. That is wealth no economy can steal. When you think beyond yourself, your investments become wiser. You no longer chase quick gains or risky trends. You choose long-term value. You select assets that endure. You build structures that last. You stop asking, "What's the return next month?" and start asking, "What will this mean in 30 years?" This mindset changes your entire financial life. You prefer stability over hype. You choose fundamentals over trends. You build assets that pay beyond your lifetime. You live not as a consumer of wealth, but as a creator of it. So ask yourself, am I spending like I want to impress the world today? Or am I building like I want to empower the world tomorrow? Your wealth should not end when you do. It should continue working, teaching, and providing, because the goal is not to die rich. The goal is to leave a foundation so the next generation starts where you finished. And once you've built a legacy mindset, it's time to make sure your wealth actually supports your freedom today, not just on paper. Rule 9, prioritize cash flow freedom, begins with monthly flow. Many people believe they are wealthy because they own things that look valuable: houses, cars, stocks, business equity, expensive items. But wealth is not what you own on paper. Wealth is what pays you consistently. A man with millions in assets can still panic every month if none of his assets pay him. I once met a gentleman who proudly said, "I'm a millionaire." He owned properties, stocks, and a luxury car, but every month he was stressed paying taxes, maintenance, and loans. He looked rich, but lived like a prisoner, trapped inside his own lifestyle. Then I met another man who was not a millionaire on paper, but he owned 3 rental spaces, a dividend portfolio, and a small business that paid him monthly. He didn't drive a luxury car. He didn't wear designer clothes. But he had something far more valuable. He didn't fear the end of the month. And that's when I understood something crucial. Assets that don't pay you are not assets. They are emotional trophies. The rich don't focus on possession. They focus on cash flow. They ask one question before buying anything: will this pay me? Or will this cost me every month? That question divides the free from the trapped. A house that produces rent is an asset. A house that drains your income is a liability, no matter how beautiful it looks. A business that runs without you is an asset. A business that collapses if you stop working is a job disguised as ownership. A stock that pays dividends is an asset. A stock that only looks good on paper is potential, not freedom. The goal is not to accumulate assets. The goal is to accumulate cash-flowing assets, because freedom is a monthly experience, not a number printed on a statement. You don't want money that just exists. You want money that arrives. The rich focus on building streams, not status. Streams like rental income, dividends, royalty payments, automated online sales, business cash flow, affiliate or licensing income, content or intellectual property earnings. These streams eventually replace labor. They allow you to work by choice, not by survival. So ask yourself, if I stop working tomorrow, what would keep paying me? If the answer is nothing, then your first mission is not to grow savings, not to upgrade lifestyle, not to chase trends. Your mission is to build one reliable stream of passive or semi-passive income. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be consistent. Small flow today, larger flow tomorrow. Eventually, a river, because freedom doesn't happen all at once. Freedom is built one income stream at a time. And once your money begins to flow every month, the final step is to make that money multiply without limit. Rule 10. Invest in people. Your network is your real net worth. The richest people in the world don't rise because they know everything. They rise because they know the right people. Learn from the right people and build with the right people. Money can buy many things, but only relationships open the doors that money cannot touch. I once met a young entrepreneur named Alan. He was disciplined, talented, and hardworking, but he felt stuck. He told me, I've studied every investing strategy, every business skill, but I still can't break through. So I asked him a simple question: who speaks well of you when you are not in the room? He fell silent. That silence revealed a truth that most people never consider. Your reputation travels faster than your effort, and your relationships build wealth long before your money does. The rich understand that success is rarely a solo journey. They don't try to get rich alone. They invest in mentors, partners, advisors, skilled teams, and supportive networks. They build relationships like others, build assets intentionally, consistently, and with value. They don't chase people for benefits. They bring value to relationships first. They ask, how can I help this person succeed? What can I offer before I ever ask? How can both of us grow from this connection? They become the kind of person others trust, respect, recommend, and want beside them in business or life. Because here's a secret the rich know: skills make you valuable. Relationships make you unstoppable. Your mind can create ideas. Your skills can build products, but it's the people around you who amplify your impact, who introduce opportunities. Share knowledge, protect your blind spots, and shorten your path. A wealthy man once said to me, "If I lost all my money tomorrow, I'd rebuild it within 5 years, not because of income, but because of the people who trust me." That is the power of social capital. A network is not a list of contacts. A network is a circle of trust. It is built through contribution, honesty, consistency, and integrity. In today's world, your net worth is not just what you own, it's what you're known for and who you grow with. Money can disappear. Economies can collapse. Markets can crash. But if you have knowledge and strong relationships, you can rebuild faster than ever. So ask yourself today, who are the 5 people I spend the most time with? Are they helping me grow or keeping me the same? Because you will rise or fall based on the circle you choose. Don't just build assets. Build alliances. Build mentors. Build a reputation that opens doors. Build relationships that multiply value for everyone involved. Because in the end, money is just a tool. People are the true assets. You've just learned 10 money rules of the rich. Not tricks, not hacks, not get-rich-fast fantasies. Principles. Principles that turn a simple paycheck into freedom. Principles that build assets even while you sleep. Principles that protect your income, grow your value, and create wealth that outlives you. But remember this, you can hear a principle. You can know a principle, but only those who practice the principle receive the reward. Most people won't take action. They'll nod, feel inspired, and then go right back to spending seeds instead of planting them. Freedom doesn't belong to those who listen. Freedom belongs to those who apply. So starting today, ask yourself one powerful question. Every time money enters your hand, is this seed going to die in my mouth? Or will it grow into something that pays me? Because freedom is not bought with income. Freedom is built with ownership, disciplina, and consistency. You don't need more luck. You don't need a miracle. You need one habit, practiced daily. Pay yourself first. Invest with intention. Build assets before lifestyle. Let value determine your income. Control your cash flow. Use debt and taxes wisely. Think in generations. Prioritize cash flow. Invest in people. And most importantly, make money your servant, not your master. If you do that, you will not just live well, you will live free. If this message spoke to you, if you feel a shift in how you see work, money, and freedom, then don't let this lesson stay in your headphones. Subscribe to join this journey of discipline, assets, legacy, and wealth mindset. Here, we don't chase money. We build freedom. Comment below. Which of the 10 rules hit you the hardest, and what will you start practicing today? Your answer may be the first seed of your financial transformation. We're building something greater than wealth. We're building a legacy. See you in the next video. Hill Mindset Legacy. Think deep. Build wealth. Live free.